Good morning. It's 10:02 actually, and I'm calling the Hillsborough County Legislative Delegation to order. First of all, I would like to introduce Representative Valdez to lead us in prayer this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Today, may we open to others' ideas and beliefs, respectful of our differences and not threatened by them. May we grow in understanding of our own motives, knowing that people often act out of their own fears. May we be a force for replacing fear with insight, helping one another to be patient and kind. Strength, real strength, can always find compromise. Working together, may we find a common ground and move forward with a shared purpose. May we see what is truly important and unites us, focusing on that to banish roadblocks of fear as we seek to serve our constituents with respect and honesty. May our personal beliefs, philosophies, and faiths guide us to act with wisdom and humility. God bless us, the state of Florida, and these United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Valdez. At this time, I would like to recognize Representative Jackie Toledo to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, thank you. I know it's a little difficult under our circumstances, right? But I greatly appreciate you. Malik, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Alrighty. Senator Jim Boyd.
Here, sorry.
Senator Danny Burgess.
Present.
Senator Darrell Roussan. Okay. Representative Mike Beltran. Representative Fentress Driscoll.
I'm here on behalf of Representative Driscoll.
Representative Tracy Coster.
Here.
Representative Andrew Leonard. Representative Lawrence McClure. Representative Michelle Rayner.
Here.
Representative Jackie Toledo.
Here.
Representative Susan Valdez.
Present.
A quorum is present, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
And I don't want to interrupt. I'm actually here on behalf of Representative McClure. He's making his way up to Tallahassee today.
Hi, James Jacobs here on behalf of Representative Beltran as well. He should be joining us shortly.
Diane, I think your mic is muted.
You're right. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Thank you. Need a little help over here, right? At this time, we will now have Representative Jackie Toledo to present her local bill.
Thank you so much, Chair. And good morning, members. This is I guess, the only local bill we will have this year. And this is a proposed bill that will amend the boundary of the Water Street Tampa Improvement District, which is an independent special district created by the legislature in 2018 in order to fund, manage, and maintain the infrastructure associated with the Water Street Tampa development in a sustainable way. The amended district will just simply move the northern boundary up to Whiting Street to include the property that was acquired, Ardent Mills. The amendment of the district boundary adds about 5.2 acres and removes approximately 0.1 acres for a total of 73.8 acres. The amended district will continue to be consistent with the City of Tampa's approved plans and with city approval. The amendment of the district will not have any fiscal impact on the current state or local revenue, as the district will continue to be its own sustainable independent unit of local government. And the amendment only changes the boundary of the district as depicted on the exhibits that you have. It does not in any way modify the powers and duties of the district as set forth in the 2018 legislation establishing the district. And I also have on the line Jim Schimberg to answer any questions specific to the district, and that is the bill.
Thank you, Representative Toledo. Are there any questions from the delegation members on the bill? All right. Yes, Representative Valdez.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rep. Toledo. It's good to see you via Zoom here. Quick question for you.
Yes.
Will this take care of this situation permanently, or do you think that maybe years down the road, future delegations may have to come back to revisit this?
I cannot answer that for you. I just know that currently this is the request that they have to increase the boundary to include the property that was acquired so that they can make those changes. But Jim, would you like to add to that?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Representative Valdez and Representative Toledo. We don't have any plans at this time to acquire any additional land, so we don't anticipate that there would be any future amendments to the boundaries of the district, but you never know what's going to happen in the future. But the way these are set up, obviously that cannot be done without the legislature. So it's obviously a big deal. So when we were able to acquire the former flour mill, it was something that was very, very many years in the works, and they're relocating to a site in Port Tampa Bay, and then they'll be moving out later this year. So this was, a significant enough addition that we thought it was worth going through this process, but we don't anticipate there will be.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, you all know that I am new to this process. Does this require us to vote here and then again when we see the bill?
We vote for it to approve it.
Right, yes.
And then once we approve it, then it can get agended.
Okay, thank you very much. Also, at this time, we'll take a roll call vote. Please call the roll for the vote.
Senator Boyd,
Yes.
Senator Burgess,
Yes.
Senator Rouson,
Yes.
Senator Costa. I'm sorry, Representative Costa,
Yes.
Representative Rayner,
Yes.
Representative Toledo, Representative Valdez.
Yes. Malik, you missed me.
Senator-
Representative Driscoll, I vote yes.
Malik,
Good morning,
good morning, everyone. Senator Janet Cruz, I vote yes.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. And the reason we didn't call your name, Rep. Driscoll, was because it was your legislative aid on, and I didn't know you joined us. Thank you all so much, ladies, for joining us. So this has been a unanimous vote, so we will be able to move this bill forward. Thank you all so much. We will now begin with.
Very much. I really appreciate it.
I'm sorry. Somebody said something, I didn't hear them.
Said thank you very much on behalf of the Water Street Tampa project. We appreciate all your support.
You're welcome. We will now begin with public testimony. Each member of the public will be given 2 minutes to speak on their topic of choice. If the time has expired, we'll call time. Malik will also call the first speaker at this time.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Chair Hart, can I
Yes,
just
ma'am.
mention that someone doesn't have their mic on mute. It sounds as if they're driving in a car, but it's hard for us to listen. So I wondered if you could ask folks to make sure they're on mute.
Madam Chair, you're on mute.
While I'm asking everybody else to stay muted, I'm muted, right? I'm muting because I don't want to have that sound, and I do get that. So everybody who is on, please keep your mics muted until your name is called, because it does give us a lot of feedback and interruption. So thank you very much. Malik, call them.
Our first speaker will be Dr. Carolyn Collins. You have 2 minutes.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I'd unmuted my mic. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. It's Dr. Carolyn Collins, in Hillsborough County. And I wanted to address educational issues, about 3 of them. So I'm going to only give the topics, and thank you all for the work that you have done and the tedious job I'm sure that's ahead of you as you go into this legislative session with the pandemic. I wanted to mention, and I've already submitted the FAMU legislative budget that come from our university president. That come from the university president. The 2021 to 2022 budget. Additionally, I wanted to ask for your support of President Robinson's legislative request. I want to commend you as our state legislators, as Florida A&M University again has been selected the #1 HBCU in the United States. And it's certainly because of the support that each and every one of you have rendered to the university. And we solicit your support during this legislative session. I'm not going over the issues because I've sent them to you, and I know I only have 2 minutes, and I have a couple of items that I wanted to mention. I also want to solicit your support again and thank you for last year when you supported the Jackson House and the funding that we have for the Jackson House. One of the historical houses here in Tampa on the historical register that has a significant impact on the lives of citizens and telling the history of the city of Tampa. We're asking for support again this year. And then when it comes to education, I'm asking that when you go up to Tallahassee and look at the pandemic and the problems, I'm soliciting support for both the educational system for teachers to be able to be prepared to go in the classrooms with our young people and get the vaccine. I'm also looking at the Miracles Outreach Program that have.
That is time. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, and praying for your support and your safety during this legislative session in Tallahassee.
Thank you very much, Dr. Collins. Next speaker.
Our next speaker is Ms. Angie Hatfield, constituent from Hillsborough County.
So when he comes, both of them need to get undressed. I'm gonna need to take a few minutes, in just a few minutes.
Hello?
Ms. Hatfield, you're next.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, thank you. I am here today about Senate Bill 792, House Bill 693, which is a body cam project at Lowell Correctional. This is a strong and powerful response to the feds coming in and tell us we are not doing a good job at Lowell Correctional with the 8th Amendment violation and sexual abuse. For those of you that are already on the side of smart justice reforms, congratulations, welcome to 2021. For those that are still on the side of hard on crime or not soft on crime, let me just state that sexual relations between an inmate and an officer are a felony according to statute 794011 and 94435. So that would be a felony. That's a crime. Get hard on it. There's no reason to say no to this. It's a very, very important bill. Also, I would like to suggest while in Tallahassee, as you're hearing many sentencing bills being brought, please think about the term public safety. Is public safety a matter of warehousing humans, creating further trauma, or is public safety education, rehabilitation, job skills, life skills, decision-making skills especially? Because these people will come out. Do we want to cause further trauma or not? And also too, I wanted to mention that the DOJ report on Lowell, most of us have probably already heard the response from the Department of Corrections. But this same department, about a year ago, distributed a book called Devil's Butcher Shop to all the wardens in the state, which is about the 1980 prison riot in New Mexico, which was extremely bloody and resulted in multiple deaths. So please bear that in mind also when you hear the bill about the body cams and Lowell.
Thank you. That is time.
Thank you, Ms. Hatfield. Next speaker.
Our next speaker is Ms. Kalia Caswell with Community Partnership School Director.
Good morning, legislative members. My name is Kylia Carswell, and I am the Community Partnership School Director at Mort Elementary, a community partnership school here in Hillsborough County in Tampa. The 2020 session was an incredible success for children, and I want to thank the returning members who've invested in the future of our children through the Community Partnership School model, and ask all of you for your continued commitment. We are very thankful for the support of Commissioner Corcoran, Department of Education, and Governor DeSantis for maintaining funding for us in the fiscal year of 21-22 in the proposed budget for the thousands of students that are impacted by the 26 community partnership schools throughout the state of Florida, which include Mort Elementary. Partners for Mort Elementary include the Hillsborough County School District, Children's Home Society, University Area Community Development Corporation, Tampa Family Health Centers, Tampa Innovation Place, and then also University of South Florida. Those are our 6 core partners that make up the partnership of us serving as a community partnership school, along with many business and community members that support our efforts as well. We know all of the schools across the state have become more than just a place to learn, but also serve as a resource for the students and their families and the community in which we serve. There's different opportunities from expanded learning to addressing the needs of health and wellness, mental health services, food pantries, clothing closets, and things of the such. Because of the pandemic, we know that many of the schools and the students are facing barriers that have not actually gotten any easier. They've gotten a little more harder and a little more challenging because of the pandemic that we're all involved with or facing. We ask that you continue your support of our efforts. Throughout this pandemic, we've been able to continuously provide food with many food distributions for our families and students in the community. We've also been able to do virtual tutoring and mentoring. We've had increased technology usage and being able to give out technology for students and their families, increased mental health supports, not only for the students, but also the staff. We have enrichment activities that our students are participating in virtually, including yoga. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate all of your support.
Our next speaker is Ms. Lori Taylor with Florida Cares.
Is Ms. Lori Taylor with us?
We can go on to the next speaker if you'd like, Madam Chair. Our next speaker is Ms. Josephine Amato with Military Kids Special Education Alliance.
Hi, can everyone hear me today? Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. In the longest war in American history, with an unrelenting, unforgiving operational tempo, where our warfighters are now sending their children to fight in the same war that they fought in, inclusive of my family, as Americans, we must truly take responsibility for our roles on the home front. Our public schools have a home front mission to ensure military-connected students have equal access to free and appropriate public education and can reach their highest educational potential. Our families are honored to serve, but we must ensure our children have access to their education. Department of Defense activities contribute $19.3 billion to the state of Florida and increased by $10 billion in 2020. MacDill Air Force Base has a total of 15,000 active duty members and is home to 98,000 veterans. Ensuring high quality education for our highly mobile children is critical responsibility for all of us. Our highly mobile connected children are vulnerable to educational loss and barriers to access to education. Military-connected children possess remarkable resilience, but also face formidable challenges in changing schools and deployments. Military students have long led the way in public education. MacDill Air Force Base, Tinker Elementary, was the first school in Hillsborough County to desegregate immediately following Brown versus Board of Education. I'm supporting the Purple Star program with amendments to ensure rigor of the program is required and the bare minimum will not be accepted. Our families move over 12 to 36 times and require immediate implementation of access to their public schools. As a family who lived in a designated combat zone for over 3 years, I am honored to have supported the mission, but it came with a price and a sacrifice and a lot of challenges. Our experience in Florida public schools really impacted my daughter and really made her found Military Kids Special Educational Alliance to advocate for our children. children are photo ops for public schools, but true support is greatly needed. The Purple Star program is hopefully just the beginning of positive change in our community. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ms. Shirley Daniels, constituent from Hillsborough County.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Thank you. As you know, my name is Shirley Daniels. I am a Florida voting resident, and I come before you with my concern for our neglected prison system. My family is directly impacted by this failing system. My husband, Keith, has been incarcerated. He's incarcerated and serving a 25-year mandatory sentence for a first offense. He was sentenced at the age of 22. He has been incarcerated for 18 years. I come before you with hopes that you'll support SB 232. SB 232 would be a second look for Keith and many others who are like him, who have spent their lives growing up in prison. Florida prisoners serve sentences 38% longer than a national average. SB 232 will allow the courts to reevaluate a person's sentence after a significant period of time in prison. A quote from Jeff Brandes in a recent article: "This system is broken. The legislator has failed to address it either by providing them more resources or doing what must be done to reduce the prison population." The prison system budget grew from $1.5 billion in 1999 to $2.7 billion this year. The Department of Corrections is the state's largest agency and budget item. We should know by now that hiring more staff will not fix the problem, and increasing the budget will not help the department. Changing outdated laws in order to reduce the prison population is the only thing that's going to work now. We haven't tried it. Maybe we should try it this year. SB 232 does not automatically release anyone from prison. This bill would only offer hope to those that have worked hard to redeem themselves while incarcerated with good behavior and successful accomplishments. It is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. Almost 55,000 people across Florida will walk out of state's prisons during the next 5 years, and many of them will be worse off than when they went in. My husband, in his first 15 years, he wasn't.
Next speaker is Ms. Shannon Piet Freer.
Petty Frere, how are you? Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Good morning. It's okay, Malik. I know it's a mouthful. Thank you, sir. Good day. My name is Shannon Petty Frere, and I come to speak on behalf of HB 125. Currently, as of today, the Florida Department of Corrections can determine placement for many reasons, and one being for the safety and security of the institution, which has led many men and women to be housed hundreds of miles outside of their county of commitment. As legislation would have it, HB 125 will require that the Florida Department of Corrections must place an individual no more than 125 miles away from their loved ones in their county of commitment, unless, of course, they're on close management 1 or 2, they suffer from some severe mental illnesses or a variety of other health conditions that will require that the current facility housed are not able to meet and will require placement well outside of a 125-mile radius. There are many, many women today of incarceration that go years without a contact visit. This definitely makes it far more challenging to maintain a healthy relationship with husbands, wives, grandchildren, and grandparents. In closing, it is imperative that men and women of incarceration are able to maintain and feel as close as possible to their loved ones, both physically and mentally, for various reasons. For some, it could mean maintaining healthy mental stability. For some, it would be the extra push to ensure they exhibit good behavior. And then there are some that could be the only thing that keeps them from losing faith, just giving up altogether. Thank you again for your time, and my name is Shannon Pettyfrere.
Good morning. I want to thank you for joining us this morning. I have to, with a very heavy heart, tell you that House Bill 125 had to be pulled. We will bring that bill back. So thank you very much. We look forward to do what we can to move it forward.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Sorry.
Our next speaker is Ms. Ann Williams, constituent of Hillsborough County.
Yes, honorable delegation members, I am before you today to declare I am exhausted. I am exasperated. Florida's laws from the 1990s must be changed. The canary in the coal mine is dead. When will our government wake up? You are our government. The warehousing of humans must stop. I beg of you. At age 14, my son was sentenced as an adult to 20 and a half years in prison. He is 25 today and remains in prison. Are you aware that Florida prosecutes more children in the adult criminal justice system than any other state? In 2016, Florida direct filed more youth than California, Texas, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Michigan combined. Since 2009, more than 16,000 children, some as young as 10 years old, have been prosecuted in Florida. 77% of Floridians believe that a judge, not a prosecutor, should decide whether to prosecute a child as an adult. The legislature has added public safety to the name of the Criminal Justice Committee. It is insanity to think raising children in adult prisons is not a public safety issue. Dietrich Bonhoeffer said that the test of the morality of a society is what it does for our children. To not recognize our broken criminal justice system as a top priority for this state will be a grave miscalculation. The Florida budget can recover quickly, and the Office of Offender Review would release our elderly and seriously ill incarcerated citizens with a recovery in our budget. I am begging you to pass the many criminal justice bills before you this session. Senate Bill 232,
Thank you. That is time.
Come on. Thank you.
Speaker is Ms. Alexandria Berry.
Good morning. Is Ms. Berry with us? Go on to our next speaker, please.
Did you say Mary Elizabeth?
No, sweetheart, we said
Okay.
Ms. Berry, Alexandria Berry.
Okay, not me, sorry.
That's okay.
Next speaker is Ms. Tracy Zulawaga, Franklin Correctional Institute.
Good morning. Is Tracy with us? She's not joined us. When we get to the end, if we still have time, we have a 2-hour window. We will repeat their names. If they don't come forward, then we'll be finished. Go ahead, Malik. Next call.
Next speaker is Ms. Lorette Phillipson.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Chair, and all the senators and representatives present. I appreciate you listening to me today. Many of you know my name is Lorette Phillipson, and I spent 8.5 years at Lowell for a nonviolent crime. I expected to go and serve my time, but I became the victim at the hands of many of the Florida Department of Correction officers. Though I was not sexually abused, but I saw many women being removed from the dorm to go with the officers to their secret spot, knowing that sex was going to take place, mostly in exchange for free world items. I'm asking each and every one of you to support HB 537, the oversight of the Correctional Facilities Citizens Review Board, which will be staffed all by volunteers. It will not cost the state any funds. The Department of Justice report was published December of 22nd, only proves the need for an oversight of the correctional facilities. The DOJ report does not include all the abuses at Lowell. Women are afraid to speak up. If they do, they go to confinement. This means they lose all communication with their children, their families, their loved ones. No phone calls, no visits allowed during the time in confinement. With this being said, what amazes me is the officer retains his or her job, collecting a paycheck during the long drawn-out investigation, while the woman remains in solidarity. The women usually end up signing another statement that they were not truthful in their original statement just to get out of confinement so they can have contact with their children and families again. A citizen's oversight of the correctional facility board is needed. We need to stop these abuses, like the recent murder of CH and the officer now being charged with second-degree murder. The paralyzing of CW, the amount of deaths and abuses that have been unnecessary at the hands of officers, and the lack of proper medical care. These incidents involving officers.
Thank you. That is time. Speaker is Donnie McCurry, of Hillsborough, Florida Flaggers.
Donna McCurry, are you with us? Let's go to your next speaker, please.
Speaker is a constituent of Hillsborough County.
What was the name? I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Shahrazad. Sorry if I'm SHAHRZAD. Our next speaker is Noel Lacour.
Can you hear me? This is Shahrazad Sivanzadeh. Hello?
Yes, my dear, we can hear you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. It was so difficult. It's a touch screen computer.
It's okay.
All right. I am a nurse. I do not know if what I am presenting is supported by your organization, but I hope you do consider it. 2 years ago, on this day, February 15, 2019, after working 9 hours in the operating room as a nurse, I was approached by a coworker who's a scrub tech. And she told me, if I jump on you, are you gonna catch me? And without my consent, she went ahead and grabbed me and jumped on me, and she injured me. As of her actions, I am suffering from thoracic herniation disc, and I am in pain every day. Her behavior prompted me to reach out to police and the president and CEO of St. Joseph Hospital in Tampa. And I found out that this scrub tech had a background of negligence and recklessness that dated for 6 years. And even though she had to work as a scrub tech in the operating room. As of that point on, I went ahead and I also contacted Florida Health Department. And Florida Health Department told me that scrub techs are not monitored by Florida, state of Florida, and that is something that the hospital should have checked into. Out to the president of the hospital, she told me that it is too expensive to do background check on healthcare.
We lost her.
The state attorney took the case, and they told me.
Ma'am, can you please mute your mic real quick?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Your microphone is feeding back, so we're
Can you hear me?
hear you now. Yes. Your microphone
Madam Chair, that is time.
is back, so we're time.
Our next speaker is Ms. Nicole Lacour, Hillsborough County constituent.
Good morning. My name is Noelle Lacour. I live in South Hillsborough County. I'm here this morning to speak about Senate Bill 926, which I support. I'm hearing extremely sad stories from people who cannot find housing due to having an eviction on their record. I want to tell you all one particular family story. It's a story of one of my neighbors. They were evicted during COVID. Unfortunately, they were not protected by the state's moratorium because the moratorium doesn't include evictions from HOA liens. This family went from lien to eviction in about 6 months, and all over $1,407, which quickly ballooned into over $6,000 in that 6 short months to attorney fees and interest. The lien was foreclosed on very quickly, and it was done by the developer and without the approval of the HOA board. Now the home is for sale for $204,000. The widowed homeowner and her 9 children are still homeless, and she cannot secure housing because of the HOA eviction. This is not a rare occurrence. Another one of my neighbors is set to lose her home this Thursday over a $710 lien, which is now over $5,000 thanks to lawyer fees and interest. Please support Senate Bill number 926 because it's if someone is evicted, whether from a rental or a lien foreclosure or a mortgage foreclosure, they should have a fair shot at securing another home. I am the vice president of my neighborhood's HOA, and just last month we were pressured into sending a homeowner to the attorney for $103, which we did not do, but we have had to fight. We had to fight our property management company thanks to the developer. If we had sent that homeowner to the attorney, that $103 would have immediately swelled to $1,000 because of lawyer fees and interest. Then a lien would have been filed, and the family could have lost their home within 6 short months. Something really needs to be done about HOA lien foreclosures and evictions over small liens. And why aren't they included in the state's eviction moratorium? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Jenny Ford, Hillsborough County constituent.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we hear you.
My name is Jenny Hord, and I am here on behalf of my husband, Jason Hord, who has served 25 very long, painful years in the Florida prisons. He was sentenced under the felony murder rule at just 18 years old. I'm here today in hopes that Senate Bill 478 can be, I'm sorry. Senate Bill 478 would be, oh my God.
Passed. Are you supporting that bill?
I'm sorry?
You're supporting Senate Bill 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
The felony murder rule has been abolished and re-advised in many states since 1995. My husband was inside a home asleep when his best friend was killed. So I'm just here today to try to bring light to the felony murder rule and how many thousands of people are being put away for something they did not do. And I just hope that this bill can be sponsored and heard. Thank you.
You are very welcome, Ms. Hord. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Deborah Brennan, Walking in the Light Prison Ministry.
Good morning. My prison journey began in 2018 when my church asked me to join their prison ministry group in a maximum security prison for men. Today, I speak to you on behalf of 9,000 incarcerated individuals sentenced under the Florida Prison Releasee Reoffenders Act, also known as the PRR. This 25-year-old law affects repeat offenders and mandates maximum sentences. This law gives prosecutors the ability to punish as they see fit. Their power is vast, and all sentencing decisions are made at their discretion. In Florida, there are 1,800 individuals serving life sentences for robbery. Senator Brandes has filed SB 210, and it's on the committee agenda for tomorrow. This bill will reverse the sentencing structure of this outdated, unfair law. One day in prison, a man shared with me that 22 years ago, he was uneducated and addicted to drugs. He committed 2 armed robberies where he asked someone to fill a bag with money and left. For those actions, he's received 2 consecutive PRR life sentences. Before sentencing, the judge apologized to him because he was forced to hand down that sentence because his hands were tied due to the PRR guideline. So you see, a fair sentence was never on the table for this man. Another case shared with me was a man who said while he was high on drugs, he killed his wife. This man is getting out of prison in 25 years. Can someone tell me how someone who commits robbery receives double life and a murderer gets released in 25 years? I researched the history on the PRR law and discovered that in 1997, this bill was signed into law within 78 days without the governor's signature. And respectfully, this law had no or little impact on the crime rate. Due to the
Excuse me, ma'am. Somebody's mics are open, please. So we
Thank you.
can
At
hear.
this time, our next speaker is Getulio Gonzalez Molteri. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Disaster Resilience Initiative Coalition.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Yeah, I have several concerns, bills that I oppose and bills that I'm a proponent of. Two in particular that I'm a proponent of. But as you know, elected officials on this call, there's no way to put it bluntly, we're getting our asses whooped. HB1, SB 484, obviously that's the big one. Everyone knows that's unconstitutional, it's undemocratic, it's wrong, it violates the First Amendment. I can keep going on it all day. I've spoken about it before at the Criminal Justice Committee. I believe Ms. Hart was there, or Representative Hart, I should say. I'm also against House Bill 53, which is the preemption of apprenticeships. I do not know the counterpart to Senate Bill 856, but I'm opposed to that. That's the preemption of energy infrastructure and regulations. That's a big one, especially as municipalities across the state are trying to push renewable energy at the municipal level. If it's going to create hundreds of jobs, especially in frontline communities, Black and brown communities, Latinx communities, and these are good paying jobs. These are $40 an hour jobs in the renewable energy sector. So we're cleaning up these frontline communities that are impacted by climate change. At the same time, we're creating good paying jobs. And the White House, they support it. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be having that here in Florida. I'm also opposed to the preemption of solar electrical generating facilities, which is Senate Bill 1008. I do not know the House Bill counterpart. I apologize. I'm also opposed to Senate Bill 62. Don't know the House Bill counterpart. It's the preemption of regional planning councils. That's a big one. Time's up.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
All right.
Next speaker is
I appreciate y'all.
League of United Latin American Citizens.
Mr. David Sinclair.
I am here. Good morning.
Yes,
Can you
sir,
hear
we
me?
hear you. Can you speak now?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to speak on the matters of clean energy, environmental protection, affordable housing, and the climate crisis. I'd like to share with you three bills that I believe that it is valuable for you to support, and also some bills that I believe you should oppose. The bills that I support, and I would like you to also support, one is on resiliency, HB 315, or SB 514, to establish an Office of Resiliency within the Executive Office of the Governor. Also, I would like you to support on the state renewable energy goals, HB 283, SB 720. And finally, I would like you to support on affordable housing, HB 13, SB 510 on state funds to avoid losing funding for affordable housing. There are here several bills that I would like you to oppose. One is related to the state preemption of energy infrastructure regulations. It is SB 856. I'd like you to also oppose on regional planning councils in which those do not favor the good work of these planning Council is trying to preempt them. That is SB 62. Also on greenhouse gases, there's a sneaky version in there, HB 617, that would seek to keep local communities from having their greenhouse gas rules. And finally, related to HB 1, which is combating public disorder. This is an affront to our First Amendment rights. I support you to be against HB 1 because of its draconian influence and ability to influence the community. Thank you so very much for your good work. I live in Hillsborough County in the Town and Country section. I'm very proud of our representatives, Suzanne Valdez and also Jenny Cruz. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Debbie King, a constituent of Hillsborough County.
Ms. Debbie King, are you with us?
Our next speaker will be Ms. Mary Elizabeth Estrada, the Clio Institute.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me? Great. So, good morning. My name is Mary Elizabeth Estrada. I am an organizer at the Clio Institute. It's a nonprofit dedicated to climate education and advocacy. And I'm also a student at USF's Patel College for Global Sustainability. So there are a string of problematic preemptive bills that have reached our state legislators. The proposed legislation takes direct power away from local and regional governments who know the needs of their communities the best. So we must protect home rule and local control, especially as many municipalities are working towards clean energy goals and preparing resilient action plans. We acknowledge the need to work with powerful stakeholders, but cannot allow for the attempt of special interests to take away the power of local people and the government. As we build a more equitable and resilient economy, we need strong action in the face of the climate crisis at all levels of the government. I support bold, ambitious climate policy and urge the Hillsborough County Legislative Delegation to oppose these preemptive bills that take away local government's rights to shift towards sustainable forms of energy and protect the rights of our county. So please count on Clio for support and expertise on climate and energy policy at the local and state level. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Russell Kahn, Vice Chair of Outreach, HCDEC.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Hi, good morning, honorable representatives and senators. My name is Russ Kahn. I live in House 59 and Senate 20. I'm an officer of the Democratic Party of Hillsborough and the chair of the Environmental Caucus of Hillsborough. I am speaking to you from the environmental capacity this morning. Due to the geographic reality, the city of Tampa and the surrounding areas, we are highly susceptible to sea level rise, saltwater intrusion, and flooding from a warming climate. We need to act locally to do our part to meet the Paris Climate Accords to mitigate the worst effects on our region. This will hit us in our homes here, and it will be worse if we do nothing. I am here to ask you to oppose Senate Bill 856, currently referred to Regulated Industries, Community Affairs and Rules, and House Bill 839, which has not yet been referred to committee. These bills are state preemption of energy infrastructure regulation, and it's being sponsored by Big Oil. This bill specifically would prohibit local municipalities all across the state from acting in the best interest of their residents and visitors by converting to clean energy solutions, and it repeals the initiatives already taken by local governments in progress. This is worse than doing nothing in Tallahassee. Counties and cities are being forced to act and spend their tax dollars to address climate inaction because the legislature has failed to pass anything substantive on climate. So if you're going to limit local government when you will not act, it makes it so egregious. So please let the city of Tampa do what it can to protect our small businesses, tourism, and long-term financial well-being from the systemic risk of the changing climate. And if you can, get us some funding to help us do so. One extra thing, House Bill 1 is crap. Please vote no and oppose it. And Janet Cruz, I don't mean to call you up specifically. Please vote for SB 1030. That's the MCOR's repealer bill, and I need your vote back on that one. Thank you very much, delegation. I appreciate all of your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. Harry Hedges, President of State Association of Local Housing Finance Authorities.
Good morning, and thank you for your time.
Good morning.
Over the past 30 years, I've had a great opportunity to serve our community, our city, and our state in affordable housing. It has only been in the last year that our housing trust funds has been fully allocated. It has been over a decade since that happened last time. None of us had planned the growth that Florida is now seeing. It is absolutely amazing. Without continuing to fund and receive full funding for the housing trust bill, we just keep digging a bigger hole. We have to understand that the Housing Trust Fund creates $4 to $6 from the private sector from every state dollar that is used. That leverage is pretty much second to none for housing. But not only that, you're creating the housing we need for our social workers, our staff, in our hospitals, our police, and our teachers. This is not strictly public housing. The Sadowski Trust Fund was set up in 1992 for the sole purpose of funding affordable housing. You have been sensitive to this issue, and I know you have challenges. If there's anything I can do to assist you in that matter, please don't hesitate. We as a local organization and as a state organization are here to support these efforts. I thank you for your time and your consideration and for all the wonderful work you do. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Shamisha Greer, Florida Rising.
Ms. Greer, are you on? Next.
Our next speaker is Ms. Angela Samuels, Hillsborough County constituent.
Good morning. I'm Angela Samuels, and I would like to speak briefly on parole eligibility, the importance of that, HB 69 bill. And my husband was sentenced to 25 years to life with the possibility of parole. He's been in prison now for 28 years. Each time we go to the parole hearing, they're indicating that he needs more programs. He's completed certificates, he has degrees, he has mentorship. He has completed the same programs they're telling him. They're transferring locations saying that he needs to complete programs which he have already completed. And I was told by someone that as long as the victim family is here, that it won't get approved, that he won't be parole eligible or he won't get paroled. So we need to address that, and I'm just asking for some kind of guidelines for the parole. And as well as they, we go to the hearing, we take time off from work, his supporters, and once we get there, they've already made their decision before we attend it. So I'm just asking for some kind of guidelines. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Next speaker is Ms. Lunell McAllister, constituent of Hillsborough County.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Representative Hart. Thank you, Mr. Moore. I'm new at this. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. I'm a little nervous. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Well, I really appreciate y'all being here on this Patriotic President's Day. I can't see anybody's picture other than yours, Ms. Hart, so I hope that everybody's still on board. I know I'm the tail end here, but I wanted to show some pictures, and I did email some of them around to you all. I'm here to talk about veterans on this Patriotic Day. We've had some bad things happening to some of our veterans and their family members. This is a monument that was damaged to this young man who was killed in action. And it made my heart sad when I heard the lady at the beginning of the call, because it just seems like there's this attack, this war. This is a Veterans Park where they took the service flags and damaged them. I'm sure some of you have heard of the Tuskegee Airmen from World War II, that wonderful group. This is a sculpture that was made to honor Chief Master Sergeant Richard Hall, who was a Tuskegee Airman, and he's still alive. And they did this to the community put this up for him, and I know you can't see it really well, but it was damaged. And today's, sort of George Washington's birthday. Look what they did to him. I don't know if you can see these pictures. This is a POW monument at a Veterans Park to a Marine Corps. This is Teddy Roosevelt, the Rough Rider guy and a president. And he was a Democrat. And now this is one of Abraham Lincoln. They pulled him down. And just recently, they took him down. Please make this stop, please. Please do something.
Thank you very much for joining us. At this time, we have reached the end of our public comments. I don't see any additional people who we had passed over that did not speak before. Does any of the delegation want to make a comment? Oh, I see it. Alexandria is here. Did she not get an opportunity?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Okay, so sorry for, yes, you called my name before and I wasn't able to log in at first. Okay, so thank you first and foremost for allowing me to speak today. I'm speaking on behalf of SB Bill 232. I am a victim of a crime. In 2016, my brother was murdered over a horrific breakup. And thank God we had an arrest within 48 hours. We had to endure 2 trials. As a victim, I did ask for the judge to sentence her the maximum sentence that the law was allowed, especially because I was under the impression that she had absolutely no remorse. So in 2019, she was sentenced 50 years at 20 years old. She only showed emotions when she had heard a guilty verdict in court and sentencing, and never flinched during the crime scene photos, which are embedded in my brain. Now that some time has passed, I see where my feelings of vengeance were amplified because of the systemic issues we have in our justice system, not knowing or understanding the system at first as a crime victim is horrifying. We're not allowed to show emotion at all, even in our victim impact statement, because it can cause a mistrial. And this goes for defendants as well, which I was not aware of at first. And that gives the impression to the family that the defendant has no remorse whatsoever. The lack of communication from the state, the lack of victim services at times. It took me attending the press conference for Victims' Rights Week to get my family and I the help 5 months later. The re-victimization came from the court system, not from the defendant, which breeds even more hatred. So I have 2 choices. I can either continue to live in fear and watch my family suffer, or pursue restorative justice with the defendant, which I had no idea existed. So my whole purpose here is today that I do believe in the power of an apology that can promote healing for all parties. And I understand it's my time. I have one last sentence. and I will finish. I have a friend that had 2 life sentences. He won on appeal for stand your ground. And since he has been out, he has started his own business as a productive
Alexandra,
member
we
of
have to cut
society.
you off. I apologize for that because we have a couple of speakers who've returned and we're on a very strict time limit this morning. But thank you very much for sharing that information with us. Tracy is on, Malik. She was not previously.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
I appreciate you. I'd like to make a plea that all members of our Hillsborough County delegation take the time to become familiar with issues of criminal justice and prison reform if you are not already. In the state of Florida, we have 146 state prisons and approximately 90,000 incarcerated men and women. Florida is known as the prison state. We have more people incarcerated in Florida alone than any other single country in the world. Many of these incarcerated individuals come from Hillsborough County and will be returning to Hillsborough County. They're returning from an environment that has only further supported criminal behavior, often making them much better criminals. They experience physical, mental, and emotional abuse at the hands of Department of Corrections. They're dehumanized daily, and the Department of Correction continues to be allowed to operate with very little to zero accountability for their actions, abuse, and retaliatory measures. Today, I would also like to ask that you become familiar with Senate Bill 472, sponsored by Bracy on Game Time, revising a principle of the Criminal Punishment Code relating to a prisoner's required minimum term of imprisonment, revising the incentive game time that the Department of Corrections may grant a prisoner. The public and this panel need to be educated on the use of our tax dollars in the prison system. With 90,000 incarcerated individuals, there are less than 2% of them receiving education and resources annually. Most of our incarcerated spend their days sitting on a bunk or watching TV. I need you to understand that the current system of warehousing is not reform and incarceration is not rehabilitation. I ask that each of you commit to supporting or sponsoring at least one bill related to criminal justice or prison reform in Tallahassee, and I ask that you take the time to make a surprise visit to at least one of our state prisons. In the words of Albert Einstein, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much. Now we are at the end of our speakers. Delegation members, does anybody have a comment? Go ahead, Representative Valdez.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for your leadership in bringing this delegation meeting together so that we can allow our constituents back home an opportunity to talk to us about what they're listening and supporting and in oppose of. I do appreciate all who have been present here with us today and shared with us their thoughts. So Godspeed to each and every one of you, and thank you, Chair Hart.
You are quite welcome, Representative Valdez. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Seeing none, our meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all very much.